everyone, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, greetings. Please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. So, we are here discussing Miss Grand. No, it is not the reaction video. I do not know who won, which is exactly why I have been avoiding social media these last few weeks, is because I've been trying to shield my eyes against spoilers because I want to do that reaction with my mother as I have the past 2 years. I'm just waiting for her to have time to do it, you guys, but I do want to do it with her. You know, it's just for fun. It's not like we're betting money on this. I just want to see like what the show was like. So I'm still planning on doing that. And yes, Mama Sovereign is still planning on attending as soon as I can get her away from other things. However, while the show was going on, you know, the competition was in heat, I was in the Discord discussing with some of the courtiers, and somebody dropped a link to the closed door interview of Miss Grand Turkey. And I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, some of the competitions are letting us see the behind the scenes interviews. If you have been keeping up with the Big Five pageants, you know that I was a part of the judging panel for the Miss Earth interviews that just happened. So if you're keeping an eye on Miss Earth, their interviews are already posted, but it's nice to be able to kind of see the questions that are asked from the judges, what it's like, what it looks like to give a good interview. Miss Grand Turkey, I love her comfortability. She seems very comfortable, very relatable, very honest. Nothing about her interview felt forced. It felt very conversational. So in my opinion, her interview was very real, raw, and true and good. I liked her interview, but the reason I want to discuss Miss Grand Turkey is because of the words that she said. I think sometimes the fans and even directors underestimate how serious a lot of these women take these competitions, as demonstrated by Miss Grand Turkey. She went through extreme lengths to not only make her director proud, but the Miss Grand organization proud, because she wanted to be a good competitor. She wanted to be a good representative. She wanted to have a fighting chance. According to Miss Grand Turkey in this interview that is on YouTube, okay, so it's coming from her own mouth, we can all see. She was instructed by her director and the overall organization to lose weight. And according to her, she said she dropped around 6 kilos. Which, you know, I know the Americans are down there like, oh my God, conversions, do your homework. Okay, I'm not helping you here because I don't know the conversions either. But kilos weigh more than pounds, I'll tell you that. At least I'm pretty sure. Either way, it's not the amount of weight that she lost. It's nothing like that. What is concerning in this instance and really triggers me to other conversations that we've had here on the channel, Miss Grand Turkey told the interview panel, which included the director, Nawat, the director and owner of Miss Grand International. The entire organization was sitting there in the interview panel, by the way, using his phone, which is kind of a no-no. Now, as someone who sits on a judging panel every now and then and has done interviews, sometimes, especially when it's in-depth interview, I want to look up certain statistics, certain facts. I'm really in-depth when I ask questions. I will look up your specific country. For example, I'm Miss Earth, I'm using as an example because I've done it for them. I'll look up what country, what's going on in the geography, what's going on politically, what's going on socially, your environmental policies, practices, and current legislation. Like, I will look that stuff up in front of a girl and then ask her about her country because I want country-specific questions. Like, I will get in there, okay? I take interviews serious. It didn't really look like Nawat was looking up questions, though, and I was side-eyeing the fact that he was using his phone while this girl is telling him that in order to do as she was instructed and be a viable competitor for the Miss Grand International title, she would dip toilet paper in orange juice to give it a little flavor and was eating that and only that in order to drop the weight before competition.
And I just want to tell you one thing.
Strong.
Yes. My national director, he told me like in July.
ขอกระดาษทิชชู่หน่อยสิ
Can I continue?
Yeah,
My national director, he told me in July, like, Dalia, you know, we got a feedback from Miss Grand International that you need, like, go more to gym and losing weight and everything. And the thing is that I was never eating a lot. My problem is more like I can show you. I have this rare illness. I do this, like, every few days. It's a machine I can show. I'm always hiding this. So when I do this, I have to, like, take a lot of cortisone, and when you take cortisone, you even gain weight when you like drink water.
Yes.
So what I thank you. So what I basically did for like losing weight.
No.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
So
No,
sorry.
just touch it.
Okay, fine. So I was like, okay, I take a lot of cortisone, and when I take cortisone, you know, I gain a lot of weight. And I literally knew that with normal diet it will not work to lose weight, because I was really like 6 kilos more before I came here. So I really took toilet paper, I put it in orange juice, and then it has a little taste, and I started eating that.
What?
And I tied my waist trainer so tight that when I went to toilet, I started to bleed, you know?
What?
So I really did crazy things to, you know, make you guys a little proud.
This is a woman who's not in any way obese. This is not even a woman who's overweight. This is a normal sized woman, even a slender woman even, who went to extreme lengths to compete in this pageant. And not only that, she also says that she went to the lengths of tightening her waist trainer so much that when she went to the bathroom, she would pee blood. She said this in front of the director of the Miss Grand International organization. And the reaction that I'm supposing a lot of you are having at hearing this and watching this is not the reaction that Nawat had. Because I was like flabbergasted that she said this in front of a director, because I'm expecting Nawat's face to fall off. Like, I'm expecting like his teeth to start crumbling onto the floor like little confetti poppers or something. Like, I'm expecting Nawat to throw the camera out of the window and stop the interview right there, because this is such a confession and such an extreme level that this girl is confessing to in front of the director. And it's such an unhealthy thing that I'm thinking, you know, like a normal human being, you would be like, hold up, wait, you did what? This is not what we endorse. This is not what we want. This is not how far we want to push you. This is not what it means to be Miss Grand. Like, I'm expecting some sort of reaction out of him. And there was nothing. There was no reaction. I'm not even sure he looked up from his phone, you guys. And I'm sitting here, I'm dumbfounded, because we have had this discussion about body image and, you know, weight and the stereotypical beauty pageant queens and the lack of variation and diversity in, I don't know, height, age, aesthetic, body composition, even race and ethnicity. We've covered all the bases here on this channel. We do not shy away from conversation. So when I'm hearing this, it's just triggering like all the conversations that we've had so many times of me damn near standing up here on my little soapbox trying to tell people how much of a problem this is. And when we do talk about, you know, body image, there's always those few people in the comment section who are like, oh, I like it the way it is, or we don't want fat queens, or they think I'm over exaggerating or making it more of a big deal than it is. And I'm like, do you not see this? Do you not see this? This girl confessed to making herself bleed and eating non-edible objects in order to lose weight. And she did it in front of the director, who was unfazed by this. This is a normal practice for these girls that I've been saying forever is not healthy. I know the fan base is used to a very specific type of queen. We've talked about this. But what you as a fan base have been exposed to, just because you're used to it doesn't mean it's normal, right? This is the same thing that people say to, you know, women in abusive relationships or people trapped in cults. To the people trapped in the cult or the relationship, it's normal. They're used to it. They see no problem with it. But it's not until you show them what the rest of the world is like, what it's supposed to be like, the difference in the world surrounding them, that they realize they've been living in a bubble. They realize they've been living in a situation that is not good for them. The pageant community really, like, this, I can't believe this even hit YouTube. I can't believe Nawat let this go out in public, because it's a really bad look for Miss Grand International. Miss Grand, I know, is like the most vain pageant on the planet. I know that. They are all about the aesthetics. They're about the looks. They're about the glam. They're about the flaunt. They're about the flex, the theatrics, the performance. They love it. They are extra. And I'm there for it. I love a good performance. I'm a little bit extra myself. We all know that. But there's something to be said about the cookie cutter queens that they consistently bring on stage that really don't have much variation between them other than a few facial features, because we all know that some people like to go out and buy the same nose. But when I watch a pageant, and I've said this before, I want to see the variations of beauty. I want to see it span the globe. I want the tall girls, the skinny girls, the curvy girls, the girls with hip butts and thighs, the girls with boobs. I want to see girls with, you know, unique faces and like blonde hair, not blue. Well, we can have blue hair. I don't see anything wrong with blue. I mean, Are we? Well, we'll talk about hair colors later. I know we all have mixed feelings on, hair colors on pageant stage. But I'm saying I want to see a variety, okay? I want to see a buffet of women, and we really don't get that, especially from Miss Grand International, because as I said, they tend to be one of the more vain pageants where they want the girls to be very model-esque, very tone-taut tight. We do see a little bit more of surgical procedures, or at least noticeable surgical procedures on a Miss Grand stage, because a lot of their contestants, they want them to be aesthetically perfect, like the most perfected queen that they can have, while still maintaining a woman that's a good performer, that's still very eye-catching. No matter how pretty you are on a Miss Grand stage, okay, I'm telling you right now, you still won't win, because Miss Grand wants a woman who can perform, who is an enigma, who can really capture an audience, which is why I like the organization. But the vanity of this organization is to the extreme. The other pageants have issues, absolutely, but Miss Grand is the worst. This is the one pageant where we don't really see a lot of variety, where we don't really see a lot of diversity. And us as a fan base, we know that it is because the organization and its director wants a specific type of woman, particularly size 00, height around 6 foot tall. That's what they want. But it's unhealthy. That is my point. It is unhealthy. And the pageant community has to realize that though you are used to these stick figure girls, this is not a normal woman. These are women who have been pushed to the brink, pushed to the edge, forced to go somewhere where their bodies are not naturally comfortable, which is why you see a lot of them change so much after competition. The sizes that we are used to as a pageant fan, it's far outside of the normal. And I did have somebody in the last time we talked about this, I had someone in my comment section and they're like, well, it's a historical thing for skinny people to be praised. It goes back to history, the dawn of time, the skinny women are praised. And I'm like, no. Sorry, you guys, to give, preach about history lessons, but a lot of I like political science and I like history. These are things that I'm really good at. So historically, if you go look at the statues from ancient Rome, ancient Greece, from any country across the world, honestly, size 14, 16 women were considered the most beautiful women. Those were the women with childbearing hips. Those were healthy, well-fed women who were seen as wealthy because they have enough food to sustain themselves, but also healthy enough to bear children. Women who historically, I'm talking historical times. In historical times, if you were slender, that means you didn't have a lot of food at your disposal. That meant you were poor. It's likely that you weren't going to be able to raise or bear healthy children. So for those of you who are like, oh, this has always been a thing, praising thinness only became a thing in modern times. 1920s was the first time we saw a surge of having thin be in. This was the 1920s flapper era, where this very boy chic look was the it look. That was the first time thin women were really held as a pinnacle of beauty. And then it went away back to the curvy girls of like the 1940s Hollywood vixen glam era. You see these hips and you see the boobs and the bustiness. The girls are using corsets to accentuate the curves. Curviness has always been historically praised. We hit back to the 60s, we went thin again. The 90s, we went thin again. And then ever since then, it's kind of stayed that way. But understand that being thin and upholding thinness as the pinnacle of beauty is a very, very, very new thing. But because all of us have been raised in this time frame where, being thin is what is supposed to be upheld, we don't know any better. But it's definitely not the norm, and it's definitely not our history. I like to talk about this with the pageant community because I think you guys have the most power to change things. I have watched you guys and helped you guys change the way organizations behave, the way organizations do things. You guys have a lot more power than you realize. So a lot of times I speak directly to the pageant community because a lot of the directors only care about either their organizations or their sponsors or making money. They don't listen to us that much. They really don't. But I need the pageant community to understand how unhealthy this is. And I thank Miss Grand Turkey for, number one, great interview, but for being so honest and telling people her truth, her story, what she has done, what she's willing to do, because these girls do live and breathe pageantry. A lot of them do, but I don't want them to have to go this far. I don't want girls breaking themselves, hurting themselves, landing themselves in a hospital, landing themselves, in a mental institution. I don't want them going through this type of trauma when it's so unnecessary. If we're going to uplift women and empower women, we need to empower all women. Because right now, it seems that pageantry only empowers one type of woman, not all women. And Miss Grand International is the most extreme example of this. You would be hard pressed to find a size 4, and I'm not even sure I've ever seen a size 6 on a Miss Grand final stage, ever. Now, a lot of people are going to be in the comment section because I know a lot of you guys have bones to pick with MGI. I understand. There are aspects of Miss Grand International that I truly, truly do like. I wish that they would do better with their advocacy, but also with their diversity when it comes to just different types of women. Diversity is not just color or ethnicity. Diversity is height, weight, body size, body composition. It's all of that. I want to see that variety, and Miss Grand arguably has the least amount of variety. Now, pageants in general are still struggling with this whole body size, body dynamic thing. And as I have said before, I do not advocate for overweight or obese people. I'm sorry, I do not. This is still a competition, and part of this competition is a health/fitness thing. That is an expectation. Like, you can go into these pageants and not be perfectly healthy or perfectly fit. You could still compete, but your chances of being crowned over a woman who went the extra mile, LOL, literally. I know I didn't plan that, but whatever, it's fine. Your chances of going up against a girl who did the extra, who showcased her will, and she really did everything she could, including going to the gym. It's a lot harder to beat those women if you're not willing to put in the same amount of work that they did. So I'm not saying women should be skinny. I'm saying you should be fit. And as I've said in other videos, fitness comes at different sizes. So I don't want people to think being fit means being skinny. That is not it. We want fit queens. You can be a fit size 6, size 10. How many times have we gone through this? I have shown you guys the pictures, okay? We don't need to dispute this right now. I have shown the proof. You can go back and do your homework if you missed the videos. Why are you missing the videos? I just would like to see the community be shown what they're here for. They're here for gorgeous, intelligent women. They are here to see the best shining examples of what a woman can be. And we should be showing them all the different versions of women and all the different beautiful sizes that they can be. Pageantry really should be an avenue for people to learn and be taught about, wow, you can be this type of woman. Wow, you can look this way. Wow, you can be this size and still be gorgeous. Like, you guys should be able to see that. And I don't feel like you're getting that. And I feel like the girls are like low-key being tortured because they want these crowns so bad that they feel like they have no other way to achieve them but go to some of these very extreme lengths. And I don't want that. That's all I'm saying. As a pageant fan, personally, I don't want the girls to be pushed so far, and I really do want to see that variety. I do. I love the tall, slender girls. I love the curvy girls, okay? I love, like, man, some of these women look amazing in bikinis, and I'm sad that some of you have never witnessed it before. Trust me, okay? Trust me. There is a reason that I advocate to bring the curvy girls to competition. There is a reason. If you haven't seen, we might have to do a live stream or something because I can show you some things. I have seen some women who deserve to be on a pageant stage. Good Lord. Good Lord. I will say that I'm happy that one of the interviewers addressed Miss Grand Turkey and her extreme methods.
Okay. Just remember,
Sorry.
you're in a position where you are a role model. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to do right by you and make sure that you stay healthy always.
That was appropriate and that was needed. I'm a little bit remiss to see that Nawat himself didn't say anything, didn't speak up on it. And I do believe it's because I do believe in the interview she said the Miss Grand International organization reached out to the national organization and wanted her to lose weight. So he seems like he kind of has a thumb and a finger in pressuring these girls, and it's not a good look. I love, Miss Grand. I know a lot of you guys don't. I'm trying. Okay, Miss Grand, I really need you guys to get your stuff together because I want to like you, but this is a horrible example to the fan base in the pageant community. And if you're still bucking to be a Big 5 pageant, which you are not, I'm sorry. I watch 3 pageants religiously every year: Miss Universe, Miss Earth, and Miss Grand. Miss Universe and Miss Earth are Big 5. Miss Grand, I do not control the Big 5, hierarchy. The fan base does. And the fan base says, you guys are not Big 5. And honestly, with this type of behavior and this pushing these girls this far and allowing this and being this, bias against women who aren't double zeros, I understand why the fan base is not allowing Miss Grand to rise any further than what they have. I really hope that Miss Grand finds a way to just, kind of clean things up. I would like to see them be an actual threat to the Miss Universe and Miss Earth and other pageants, other big pageants. I would love for Miss Grand to actually make Miss Universe shake in their boots, because Miss Universe, the organization, does get a little bit comfortable. They do seem a little bit comfortable in their number one spot. I don't particularly like that. I feel like they could spice it up, be a little bit more flavorful. Miss Grand is bringing the flavor, but they do not belong and will not ever stand next to the Miss Universe organization with this type of behavior persisting in their pageant. The fan base is never going to give the respect that Miss Grand needs to be considered one of the biggest pageants. Miss Grand they're fun to look at. Okay, it's a pageant that's fun to look at, but when it comes down to it, and I have to be honest, you guys know I'm honest, there's no substance. According to the fan base, you guys are a beautiful, empty shell, and it needs to be addressed because the vanity, it's gotten too far. It's gone to the point where it's dangerous, and just the fact that this hit YouTube floors me, because Nawat and a lot of other people really seem to have no issue with the words that came out of Miss Grand Turkey, or full well knowing that they've pushed these girls to an extreme, and they continue to do so. Miss Grand, I want to like you guys so much. You keep messing up. In the comment section below, please let me know what you think about Miss Grand Turkey's closed door interview. How did you think she did for interview? Like, I know the competition is over. She's still going to want some praise and pointers and, a little bit of accolades for her honesty and relatability. It was a very good interview. But also, let me know how you felt about the extremes that she felt she needed to go to because of her dedication to the pageant. And what did you think about the reaction or lack of reaction from the judging panel? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please click the links below and all the little buttons, the dings and everything, so you can be notified, so you can be here, so we can have more pageant commentary, talk, and tea. You guys know I will always talk about pageants, but I talk about other things, social events, world events. We spill the tea, we talk commentary, every now and then a movie. Hell, we have a lot of fun over here. So stick around. And remember, I love you and I will miss you, but I will be back in a future video. Bye!